easy for you to determine which product your client gets. So there's a lot of e-tools available to you as advisors, which is very exciting. Inclusive coverage. Yes, we don't decline anyone, but we also offer coverage to those that are here as a student visa and work permit. Up to $250,000 we can offer in life coverage. So that's great. Prompt friendly service. You should be able to get hold of someone in our sales team whenever you need. If they are a little bit delayed in getting back to you, but they will always get back to you, that's for sure. Okay. This slide is a good slide because it shows us the overview of our products. And the way that I kind of look at it, if I'm a new advisor to Canada Protection Plan, which many of you are, the way that I think it's easy to figure this out, I would say, you know, each color represents a different application form. Okay, we'll start with the red one, and that's the one that I envisage you using the most of. It's our AZ life coverage, and that's used for declined or postponed clients. Okay, and clients with a high-risk job or partake in hazardous sports. So if your client's been declined, postponed, or rated, you're going to use my AZ plan, which is the red color. Okay, and that's what I'm going to really be talking about mostly today. And then the green one, which is my Express Elite plan. Okay, and so just to backtrack, my AZ life coverage offers up to $500,000 of no medical coverage to your clients. Then on the other side, I have my Express Elite plan, and that is for healthy clients that maybe just don't want to go through medicals. And you might have some clients like that. In that instance, I would suggest that you go to Primerica first, because I know that they offer you $300,000, depending on the client's age, as no medical coverage. And then you can come and use Express Elite as well as a second option, because we offer up to $750,000 of no medical life insurance coverage there. And then if your client has some extra monies, critical illness is always a good solution to offer to your clients. So how can we help the families that you serve? It's very, very simple. Anyone that's previously been declined, postponed, or heavily rated, anyone with hazardous occupations, or maybe you might have clients that like to partake in thrill-seeking sports. What about clients that maybe don't want to share financials? Maybe some business owner clients that don't want to share financials. Canada Protection Plan is good for that because we don't ask for financials at all. Okay. And our travel question, we don't offer travel insurance, but our travel question is extremely lenient in that we don't ask where your client's traveling to, which is great because some people do get reprimanded in getting life insurance depending on where they're traveling to. We never ask. We only ask how long the client is traveling for. And what we care about is if they're traveling for more than 12 consecutive weeks in the next 12 months. So are they traveling for over 3 months in the next 1 year? That's what we concern ourselves with. We don't care where they're traveling to, which is great. So let's start with this case study and let's meet John and Sue. They're both in their late 30s and they have 3 children of different ages. They have a mortgage for $750,000 and they're interested in term life insurance, which is great for a Primerica advisor. If John and Sue were your prospects and you'd gone to visit them, you'd be thinking, great, I've got perfect solution. And for John, Primerica did. And he secured coverage, no problem. Sue, on the other hand, has Crohn's disease and a history of cancer. It wasn't so easy for her to get coverage at Primerica, and she was declined. Okay, so previously what you would do is get John coverage and then see what you can do with Sue, but you probably wouldn't be able to get her adequate coverage. But now you have a partnership with Canada Protection Plan. If you meet a family like this, you can absolutely get both John and Sue coverage, which is amazing. Okay. Now, this story continues, and the family went on a long road trip and met with an unforeseen disaster, a really, really terrible car accident, which took the life of John and Sue, leaving their 3 children behind to the grandparents who are now raising them. Okay. And remember, John got coverage for 450,000 and Primerica paid out. But is this the ideal solution? Probably not in their situation. They have a mortgage for 750,000 and 3 small children. And that's the reason why you do what you do. Because the difficult truth is that not everyone secures the right coverage in time. But now we've got a solution to that problem. Okay. And before we go back to the case study, I want to share some common reasons that we've seen declines at Canada Protection Plan in the last 30 years or more. High BMI, and it might jog your memory. Think about your book of business. Think about any declined clients that you've had previously, or currently you might have some declined clients, and how, now you can find a solution for them through Canada Protection Plan. So high BMI. What does that mean? It means that your client falls outside of the bill chart, their height and weight. Hepatitis B or C. A history of cancer, like Sue. Hazardous sports. Mental illness, severe mental illness like schizophrenia, bipolar, psychosis. At Canada Protection Plan, we can get up to 350,000 for severe mental illnesses. And especially after COVID, we've seen a huge hike in those. Foreign travel, again, that foreign travel question pops up. If your client's traveling over 2 weeks, and where are they going, etc., etc. We don't ask where your client's traveling to. As long as it's less than 12 consecutive weeks, we're fine with that. A history of heart disease or stroke. So these are the reasons, common reasons that we see for declines, and they might jog your memory as well. Declines happen. So what's next? Well, we don't ask any questions about declined, postponed, or rated clients, which is great because you are going to be using us as your plan B option. Okay. And what does that mean? It means that you will apply at Primerica first, especially if the client's healthy, and then you're going to come to us if they've been declined, postponed, or heavily rated. But, again, you might meet a client that is going to get declined at Primerica because their health isn't in great shape. Then you can absolutely use Canada Protection Plan in that instance as well. Okay, so we can have your client covered in all of these instances. There's a few more conditions that weren't on the previous slide. Diabetes, for example, we can cover clients with diabetes, whether it's type 1 or type 2. A history of drug and alcohol use, we can cover clients with those. Anyone that has coronary heart disease or liver cirrhosis. So, there are many, many ways that we can cover your client, either lifestyle related or health conditions related. But how do you, as an advisor, determine eligibility? That's the question that you probably all have on your minds. And by the way, if you've got any questions, please do not hesitate to ask them on the chat. I will be reviewing those, and I will be, checking them. And yes, someone's asked, what about kidney disease? Yes, we can get your client covered. And yes, for 50,000 guaranteed coverage, is there any age restriction or all ages can be covered? Great question. So we're going to look at the slide right now. And this slide showcases that red color in that circle diagram that I just showed you, where I said that, you know, you'll use the AZ application for the decline clients. Now we've got 4 plans on that application form, and it all depends on why your client's been declined. So if you are using us just for your declined clients, then I really urge you to find out why the client's been declined, because I know that Primerica don't always tell you the reason, but Rosie did share with me that, you know, if a paramedical's been done, whichever company that you use, the client can actually go onto that portal and check what was in her blood work or the client's blood work or reports that caused the decline. So what's really, really important, first and foremost, before you even look at us as an option, you need to know why your client's been declined, okay? So we've got 4 plans on the AZ life coverage application, and it all depends on the reason why. So we have, and the more severe and serious the health condition, like kidney disease, would probably be guaranteed acceptance life. Your coverage is going to be lower and the premium is going to be higher. But as you move on to the next step and the next step, you can see that the coverage becomes more and the premium also goes down, okay? Because it starts giving the client a bit more flexibility. Just want you to know that each of these steps, so there's 4 products: guaranteed acceptance life, which offers you level premiums up to 50,000 of coverage. Deferred life is the next plan, which offers you level premiums again up to 75,000. And then we have our deferred elite life, which offers your client up to 350,000. And again, someone with severe mental illness would get this plan, which is quite a good option for someone with schizophrenia or bipolar or psychosis, one of those, okay? And that's available is term 10, term 20, term 25, and a decreasing term 25, okay? And then before you move on to Simplified Elite, which offers our maximum coverage at 500,000, term 10, 20, 25, and a decreasing term 25, okay? Each section has a subset of questions, and I'm going to show you the application form after this presentation so you can visually see how we ask the questions, and all your client needs to do is answer yes or no. Don't give us extra information because it's not a fully underwritten application. There's no medicals. We know what questions we're asking. We just need the client to really truthfully answer yes or no, okay? This is a really good slide that shows you an overview of our product offering, okay? So the guaranteed acceptance life, it is deferred. So we'll start at the top here. Guaranteed acceptance life is deferred for 2 years. And if your client passes in the first 2 years, they will get a return of premium back. However, at any point with any of our plans, if your client passes away in the deferral period accidentally, we will pay out in full. Okay, so that's important to know. Issue ages for guaranteed acceptance life is 18 to 75, and issue limit is 50,000, okay? And level premium is the only plan available for this product. Then we have deferred life, where we can offer, again, up to 75,000. In the first 2 years, if anything happens to the client, because it is a deferred plan, you will get a return of premium plus 3%. So this plan would be available to anyone that's had cancer in the last 12 months. This is the plan that they'd be eligible for. Issue ages are 18 to 80, but if your client is over the age of 60, then 50,000 maximum is available, okay? And this also offers level premiums. Deferred Elite offers up to 350,000. And it is a deferral plan, but it works a little bit differently. If anything happens to the client in year one, it's a return of premium plus 3%. But if anything happens to your client in year two and on a deferral plan, that's where we see most claims come through. Your client will, the beneficiaries will receive 50% of the death benefit. So if they took out 350,000, we will give 175,000 to the beneficiaries if they pass in year two. Okay, and then Simplified Elite, no deferral at all, immediate coverage from as soon as your policy is approved. 100% of the face amount is available, and its issue age is 18 to 70. If your client's over the age of 60, they can get 350,000, and we've got all our term plans available as well as for Deferred Elite. Okay, so this is a good kind of overview slide. But again, I'm going to be showing you the microsite, and you will get all that information there as well. Okay, so we get a question that, well, you know, there's no medicals, so no worries. Like, you know, my client can answer whatever to the questions and we can get them the plan because you don't have any medicals. That's not true. Okay, we don't have medicals, that's correct. But what happens is once the application gets processed with new business, it will go to our underwriting team where they will do an MIB check. MIB is, as you know, Medical Information Bureau. It gives you a list of the client's declines for any insurance applications in the last 7 years. So if your client's been declined, and mainly your clients are going to have been declined because they would have been declined from Primerica for you to be using us. So there will be an MIB code when the underwriter checks for MIB. Now, each code, you and I don't know what it means, but the underwriters know. The code reflects the reason why the client was declined. Now, it's extremely important that you know as much about your client's medical history and current medical issues as much as possible. And it's really important that the client answers truthfully to the questions that we are going to ask, because we want claim to be paid, and so do you. So what we do is, let's say your client was declined for diabetes, okay? And the underwriters check MIB, and it shows that the clients answered no to all the diabetes questions, when actually some of them the client should have answered yes to, okay? So basically what we will do is our underwriters will reach out to the client just to ensure accuracy. It safeguards the advisor and the client. So they're going to make sure that, you know, all the questions have been answered truthfully. So essentially, we give your client another chance to answer the questions truthfully, and we'll only go through the subset of questions, okay? And basically, we will then offer a plan to them, because no one gets declined. We do always offer a plan that they can qualify for, which is good news, okay? Now, going back to this case study, let me just see if we've got any questions. Okay, no questions so far. Now let's go back to John and Sue. Remember what happened to John and Sue? They have 3 children. They passed away in a horrific car accident, leaving the children as orphans. The grandparents are their legal guardians. So at the moment, um, John got coverage with Primerica. Primerica paid out 450,000, which is great. Sue was a decline because she's had a history of cancer and Crohn's disease. Okay. Now we have the relationship with Primerica and we're so proud of it and we respect it so much. By the way, those of you that are going to Atlanta in a couple of weeks for the convention, we've got a booth there. I'm going to be there. Come and say hello. I would love to meet you in person if you get time. I know everyone's going to be really busy, but do make time. We'll be at the exhibitors booth and we'd love to meet you all. So now that we have the relationship with Primerica, you can now offer Sue a plan. 450,000, same amount of coverage that John got. This is massive. What this means is that none of your client relationships, so you're not going to lose any clients. You can keep them, you can submit business, grow your business, and these clients are going to refer you. So you've got the relationship with the client. So this is a great story. Now, the total coverage is 900,000. Isn't that so much more of a good story to tell? It was awful what happened to John and Sue, but at least now, combined with Primerica and Canada Protection Plan, for the grandparents, they have 900,000 to basically get paid out because they have custody of the 3 children. They can keep the family home and pay off the mortgage as well, which is great. Okay. But remember, early on in the webinar, I did say that, we're a different kind of insurance company because with every single insured that gets a plan with Canada Protection Plan, they get access to 12 complimentary member benefits. And that comes as just being a policyholder. They have to just become a member. So because of Sue's policy, both John and Sue were able to take advantage of LauraSure. What is LauraSure? It's a free online will writing service, power of attorney, and healthcare directive. So this is one of the complimentary member benefits. Again, how many people have a will these days? Not many. The stats at LIMRA show 60% of Canadians do not have a will. Actually, it's 58%, but we can round it up to 60% of Canadians do not have a will. That's massive. Imagine turning that situation around. Not only have you found a solution for a declined client, but now the husband and wife can use LauraSure to make a will for their family. And they can use it multiple times free of charge as long as the policy is in force. So because of Sue's policy under protection plan, both John and Sue utilized this service and they named the grandparents as custodians of the children should anything happen to John and Sue. Okay. Another member benefit that the grandparents could take advantage of because of Sue's policy at Canada Protection Plan is our orphan benefit. Okay, I want you to listen to this carefully. This is complimentary. It's one of the member benefits. It's called an orphan benefit. And it means to any children that are orphaned, meaning they don't have any parents, we will give $900 per month per child up until their 18th birthday. Okay, so taking a look at John and Sue's situation, we've got a 1-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 9-year-old. So that's the number of years in the middle column till they're 18. And that's the amount each child potentially will be paid over and above the death benefit of the term policy that Sue took out. Okay, So in total, up until their 18th birthday, the grandparents will have an extra 421,000 to use to bring up the children. So now, what's their true coverage? They only paid for the term 20 at Primerica and the term 20 at Canada Protection Plan. But because of Sue's policy, they were able to use LauraSure, where they could name the parents as custodians should anything happen to them, and they could take advantage of the orphan benefit, which paid over and above 421,000. So the total coverage for this family really is 1.3 million, but they've only paid premiums for 900,000 of it. Okay, so I hope that that is settling in, because it's important for you to understand. And that's how great the member benefits really, really are. Someone's written, how about MLS? Do you mean MLS as a condition? Or I'm not quite sure what you mean. Rated but not declined. Okay, so it depends. What I would do is I would see how much the client's been rated, okay? If the client's been rated over 300% and you know that they can't afford the premium at Primerica with the plan that they've been rated on, you can look at Canada Protection Plan and just see what the premiums would be according to the plan that they would qualify for. So there's no harm in you cross-checking. So for a large rating, I might take a look at Canada Protection Plan as well. Okay. Now, so we're done with AZ Life coverage. That's the plan that offers the 4 plans on one application for your declined, rated, postponed clients, anyone with a health issue that you think are going to be in jeopardy to get life insurance, and anyone that maybe has a lifestyle issue, maybe has had a criminal charge in the past, alcohol, drug use, maybe they partake in hazardous sports, whatever it is. The plan for those kinds of clients would be my AZ Life coverage, okay? There are other ways to complement Primerica with Canada Protection Plan as well. And remember, I showed you that green color on the circle diagram? That was my Express Elite product. It's the polar opposite of my AZ product, okay? My AZ product is for your unhealthy clients. My Express Elite product is for your really healthy clients. Now, have you ever come across an instance where your clients, you know, you've got a great relationship with them and you know that they want coverage, but they say to you that, you know what, I only want no medical. I do not want to go through blood work, any APS, all of that kind of stuff. It takes too long. Or maybe they just don't like needles. Maybe they don't want someone coming home and taking blood that they don't know. They just about go for their yearly checkup. You know, you have some clients in that instance, or you have clients that just want a quick issue and a quick solution. Now, in that instance, if you have really, really healthy clients, then I suggest you first, because you always first go to Primerica and see what's the maximum no medical term insurance that they're going to give your client. And then let's say they want $1 million and they're 38 years old. Okay. So Primerica gives them 300,000 of no medical, but then there's 700,000 that you need to account for. You know, you could come and use our Express Elite product. The maximum that we offer in no medical is 750,000. So you could piece those two solutions together and offer that to a client. Now we offer a term 20 and a term 30. Issue ages for the term 20 at 18 to 60. Issue ages for the term 30 at 18 to 50. Okay, so this, and they're renewable to age 80. So this might be a good option for your clients that are healthy, but don't want any medicals. Now, where I see Primericans using this product is in the situation that I just explained, where your client is adamant that they will not go through medicals and they don't want you to offer a solution that has medicals involved. Okay, in that instance. Another instance is on this slide here. Remember, we have a really lenient foreign travel question. If you have clients that like to go away for 2, maybe up to 3 months a year at a time in one stretch, remember, we don't ask where your client's traveling to. So in that instance, if your client is traveling up to 12 consecutive weeks within the next 12 months, Express Elite might be a good solution for you, especially if they're healthy and their only issue is that they're traveling for a little bit longer. Okay? If they're traveling more than 3 months, then you can fall back to my AZ application. Okay, so this case study is a good one that will showcase the product. We've got a male, he's 42 years old, in perfect health. He's an engineer. He frequently travels, never more than 12 consecutive weeks at a time. But he goes to places like Nigeria, Pakistan, and Venezuela. Okay, he's just recently bought a new home and he's looking for some really fast coverage. He wants to be covered before his next work trip. So he really wants quick issue. That's really important to him. Okay, so our product would be the perfect fit for someone like that, because once you apply, you could be covered within 3 to 4 business days. Okay, so that's the Express Elite product. I'm going to answer some questions before I move on to sharing with you the microsite, because I think that's really important to go through with you. Let me just put the, give me a moment. I'm just going to put the microsite contact, the URL, sorry, in the chat, because I want all of you to copy it and save it as a favorite, because this resource, I've just put it in the chat, this resource is going to be extremely useful to you and it's going to answer a lot of your questions. Okay, so I'm going back to the chat. I think we had few questions. Let's see, what was the questions? Good question. Arlene's asked, can someone have Edge benefits and your coverage as well? That's a really, really good question. And the answer is absolutely yes, they can. Okay, so if you maybe have a declined client and you've offered them the Edge before, but you know, they don't have as much coverage as we have at Canada Protection Plan, and you know that that wasn't good enough for them and they want more coverage, and also bearing in mind that at the Edge, the plans do go up in price every 5 years, knowing that our price doesn't change, it's the same in duration of the term, and we can offer up to $500,000 for no medicals for declined clients, you absolutely can also take out Canada Protection Plan and offer it to your client. And that might actually be a really good strategy, Arlene. So thank you for asking the question and allowing me to share it with the group. Okay. I have put the website address onto the chat. I'm now going to show you what the website looks like. Okay. This is what it looks like. If you haven't contracted yet, it's very, very easy. There's a 2-step start. Get contracted, click on that form. And then once you're contracted, you register for e-access to submit applications. Okay. A few resources that I think is really useful to go on to is FAQ at the top. Can you see here? Why do I like this? because it asks a lot of questions that some of you might have on your mind right now. You know, I recently received a decline from Primerica, and I have other clients who are harder to insure. How do I contract with Canada Protection Plan? Will my Canada Protection Plan selling code be the same as my Primerica solution number? I'm contracted with Canada Protection Plan. How do I submit business? What products are available through Canada Protection Plan? How do I quote your products? Just so you know, you just add on the plus and it will tell you the answer and take you straight to the illustrator. Okay, I've submitted an application. How do I track pending business? Who should I contact if I need help? I have a question about compensation. Who should I contact? Again, this is a really good resource. And if you scroll down, you can actually view a contact list. You can see emails that you can, new business, I would suggest would be a good one. Underwriting would be a good one. Sales is always a really, really great one. And you can even view the contact list to see who your regional support across the country is. I and Glenn cover Ontario, so you have our contact details here. And then again, we've got other operations departments on the left-hand side. Now, a really, really, really good resource is under marketing materials. Click on marketing materials, and what you have here on the left-hand side, you can see there's AZ, and it even gives you a definition: life coverage for hard to insure clients. And here I've got my field underwriting guide, my AZ training application, an infographic for hard to insure, my quick reference guide for AZ, and AZ products at a glance, which is really good as well. Okay, and then you've got Express Elite, what I just spoke about. You can see the selling sheet. It gives a description, a brochure for the advisor. Even under critical illness, it gives you the advisor brochure, a sell sheet, a case study. E-delivery guides gives you a guide for advisors and consumers on our e-delivery. And if you scroll down, you also get a full tutorial on how to use our e-app, and you can visit that and take a look at it and learn how to do an e-app. Okay, so we've tried to build this up with a lot of resources. If you really like the case study and the member benefits about the will kit, the Laura Shaw, and the orphan benefit, and you're curious to know about the extra 10 other benefits that we offer, click on member benefits, and it gives you an overview of all of our benefits and what they have. Okay, so that's great. Who do we insure? We've given you all of that information here as well. So it's really, really useful. I'm just going to pause for a moment and ask if anyone has questions before I go into the field underwriting guide. If anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Just going to check quickly. Okay, there aren't any questions. So let's go into the underwriting guide. Now, remember, I said, you know, there is a question. Okay, let's see what the question is. Available in French? Yes, absolutely. Everything is available in French. Is ALS covered as well? Yes. I mean, again, I'm going to show you the underwriting guide, Arlene. So that will answer. So we should be able to sell your products to our clients with no restrictions. Yeah, absolutely. I want to address Roger's question. Available in French. You should reach out to Alain. I'm going to show you his contact. In Quebec, we have Alain and Jacinthe. Okay. And this is their contact details. I've highlighted it on the screen there. Okay, So reach out to them. We have coverage from coast to coast, okay? So wherever you are in the country, we have support for you and a dedicated sales team for you, okay? So there you go. So I'm going to go to marketing materials, look at AZ, and I'm going to go to the field underwriting guide. Why do I love this? I use this multiple times a day. If you guys call me and you say, oh, what about this condition? If it's a condition that I know well, I usually know what product the client will get, but I always check my Canada Protection Plan field underwriting guide, because as you can see, it has all the conditions in alphabetical order from A to Z, a definition of the condition, and then what we ask, time frame, factors, and details, you know? So, and then what policy the client will get. And then, so it will give you policy eligibility, and then it will say refer to app, and it will give you the questions. So Arlene asked about ALS. ALS is this disease, and it's also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, okay? And that what it means is it's a rapidly progressive and fatal condition that attacks the nerve cells responsible for muscle movement and the brain. This condition is not curable and will lead to respiratory failure within 3 to 5 years. So what do we think, guys? Is this a serious condition? Yeah, it is a serious condition, okay? What's the policy eligibility? Guaranteed acceptance life. Why? Because on section A, question 9C, your client is going to need to answer yes. Anywhere your client answers yes to a question, you stop there. That's the plan that they'll apply for, okay? So I hope that answers your question, Arlene, and many other advisors. So as we scroll down, you can see that we have all sorts of medical conditions, okay? Bipolar, manic depression, autism, cancer, cardiomyopathy or enlarged heart, chronic kidney disease, someone asked me about, it's here, cerebral palsy, so many different conditions. I would like to go look at the diabetes section, whether it's type 1 or type 2, it's got a range. So we will ask you different questions. So you need to know about your client's history, okay? And the client should know about their health condition themselves. If they don't, there's some other issues there, basically, okay? And then we've got non-medical risk factors such as aviation, criminal history, driving or moving violations, foreign travel, hazardous sport. So this underwriting guide, if I were you, I would be saving this. I would be downloading it and saving it to my documents and using it, okay? And definitely I would be favoriting this microsite because it's really, really going to help you with your clients. And as you're looking at your book of business, because now what I'd really like you to do is go back to your declines, look at them. And as Arlene said, look, you know, maybe you've offered them edge, but it wasn't enough. And now you know about us, you can offer them more. Go and reach out to them for top-ups. Any declines that you've got on your books right now, or any clients that you meet in the future that you know are not going to be eligible for Primerica, you can now offer Canada Protection Plan through Primerica. And it's very, very exciting for us because you're able to now get coverage for absolutely anyone, okay? Anyone have any questions? I'm going to open the floor to questions in the last 5 minutes. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know. Any questions, anyone?
So, excuse me, could you put that the PDF for the guide for the underwriter guide to the chat, and we can download directly?
Well, you just go to the microsite and download it. I can't put the PDF down there.
So I know, because I never to contract before. Every time I go to the link you put to the chat, it always go to the form. I don't know to.
So, okay, when you go there, I'll show you. Let me show you. So whenever you come onto this microsite, it shows you this, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so what you need to do is go up here. Can you see at the top in the gray, there's different fields. So go to marketing materials, and under marketing material, you'll see this underwriting guide.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Okay.
I only see the form.
Yeah, and you're right. You know what? It does go straight to contracting. But yeah, there is, if you just scroll around a little bit, you know, you see other fields. Under marketing material is where you will find a lot of information. And then you can see here training modules, member benefits, FAQs, and contact. So thank you for asking that question, because I bet you're not alone. I'm sure there are other advisors that said they keep giving us the microsite, and whenever I go on it, they just keep asking me to contract, and I've already contracted. But you know, there is resources there. Just scroll up and you'll get access. Okay.
Yeah. Another question, where we could get the commission, the information about
this? Really good question. So the way it works is that we pay Primerica. Primerica pays the agent. So I would ask head office what the commission structure is, and we pay out every Tuesday and Thursday, so twice a week. So we do pay very quickly. So I would reach out to head office and ask them what the commission structure is.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Great question. Thank you, Min. And which office are you with, Min?
I'm in the same office with Ali Larson.
With who?
Ali Larson.
Okay. In Ontario or?
In Calgary, Alberta.
Okay, in Alberta. Okay. All right, great. So we've come to the end of the hour. Thank you so much for coming to the webinar today. And you know, we look forward to meeting you in Atlanta and doing more business with you. So thank you so much. Have a great evening and take care of yourself. Thanks.
Thank you.